Morning everybody, how are you? Got my raincoat on today, be prepared. That's a motto of an organisation. Can't remember if it's the Scouts or no. Day 31. I'm retired, fantastic. I think that's my biggest challenge, retirement. The biggest mistake I'd made is I forgot what to do next. I never lined anything up. I focused so much on retiring from my job and gave it all my energy and all my efforts. They actually didn't realise that I hadn't got anything else lined up. Morning Andrea, morning Joanna. Yeah, and that's it. You know, ultimately that's the lesson this one taught me, this property. These properties. The other one is I really got carried away with myself. I thought I had the Midas touch. I probably do to a degree, but it's all worked out beforehand. That's why. But at this time I got complacent. I thought I just had the Midas touch and I was absolutely fantastic at everything, and everything I touched turned to gold. So I ran out and I bought 5 properties off plan. I got carried away with everybody else. A herd mentality. I forgot my golden rules. It's a numbers game at the end of the day. It's a people business, but ultimately it's a numbers game. It's how it stacks up and it's how it works out in terms of margin, return, cash flow, occupancy rate, everything like that. And I had completely forgot all these rules that I'd put in place for myself, and I had ignored them. And I ran out and I bought 5 new builds. I've got to say, I've still got 4 of them today. Ultimately, they still generate money, but they've never actually had any capital wealth in them. And that's 15 years, morning Richard. And the other one I took a hit on. I actually took a hit and I sold it because it was just stupidity. I got caught up in the rush with everybody else. And I think that's the biggest lesson I had learned for that. And it took me 1 year to get back on track. Morning Sam. It took me 1 year to get back on track. It was a tough time. I completely lost my vision. I completely lost my focus. And it took a year of searching to get myself back on track. But never mind. In your darkest times can lead to your brightest paths. And it did. A chance meeting, almost a year to that day, walking down the high street, I was considering selling one of my properties. I bumped into Gordon Jackson again, top estate agent in Scotland. And I said to Gordon, I'm thinking about selling, because he just had a wee chat with me, chance meeting. And he said, well, hold off. I'm maybe starting my own business. What? I quite fancy part of that. What is it? Estate agency? Yep, that's right up my street. And that's what led me to here. You know, Gordon wanted to start Century 21. He had all the franchise plans in place, and we met up again a couple of times, went over the numbers, and subsequently got into business as Century 21. And that's where it all started for me in the estate agency. So I'd always been in property several years before that, you know, probably about 10 or 15 years before that. But this is what led me in 2006 to start Century 21 and get involved in that. Yeah, okay. And that's it really for today. That's my biggest lesson, I would say, is the lessons I've learned is don't get complacent, don't take your eye off the ball. Find out, make sure you've got a goal to go next to in your property journey and any journey. Don't just, and it goes back to climbing that hill at Largo I did on Saturday, or was it Sunday? Can't remember. The days just merge. It's just as you think you're getting to the top of the hill, make sure there's another one to climb. And just as you get to the top of that one, make sure you've got something else to strive for. That's ultimately what it's all about. You know, if you don't have that and you don't have drive and you don't have a goal, you tend to lose focus and you drift day to day. And therefore, you know, the years come in. This is how people say, you know, I used to say, how on earth have you worked at this company for 40 years? And he said, and they used to say to me, well, I only turned up for a 6-month temporary contract. And 40 years later, I'm retiring. And that's ultimately it. You just forget. You just fall into that sort of comfort zone. And yeah, it's nice to have some comfort, but sometimes it's better just to be pushed a bit more. And probably that's the biggest lessons I've learned. It's a numbers game. And your darkest times can lead to your brightest moments and your brightest futures. And I'll see you tomorrow, day 32. I'll maybe stop counting the days. it's like day 50. It's like the Now albums, Now 356. We've got these wonderful tunes for you, kind of like that. So I'll see you tomorrow, guys, at 7:30.